How many more heartbreaks can this city endure? How many more seasons must we, the long-suffering faithful of the Toronto Maple Leafs, watch our championship dreams dissolve into dust year after agonizing year? For more than half a century, the Stanley Cup has remained an elusive phantom, a cruel taunt in the periphery of our collective vision. But what if I told you that the winds of change, though born from painful loss, are now carrying whispers of a bold, decisive move? A move that could finally be the answer to the question that haunts every corner of this hockey-mad metropolis. Who will fill the void and lead us to glory? Get ready, because the Maple Leafs might just be on the verge of a gamble that could redefine their destiny. Toronto doesn't just breathe hockey, it is hockey. Every month, every opponent, every season carries the same immense weight. The Scotiabank Arena, always packed to the rafters, isn't merely a sports venue. It's a cauldron of raw emotions, sky-high expectations, and decades of accumulated frustrations. And as we look towards the 2025-26 season, that weight feels heavier than ever before, pressing down on the shoulders of every player, every coach, and every single fan. The offseason was anything but easy, marked by a seismic shift that sent shockwaves through the fan base, the departure of Mitch Marner, one of the team's main offensive engines. Marner's absence left a deep, gaping hole not just in the numbers on the score sheet, but in the very heart of the team's identity. He was a wizard with the puck, a playmaker of unparalleled vision, and a constant threat who could turn a broken play into a highlight reel goal. His departure wasn't just a roster change, it was an amputation, leaving a significant void that immediately begged the most urgent question. With every passing round of the regular season, the same urgent question echoes among fans, analysts, and even within the hallowed halls of the locker room. Who will step up to fill that void? Do the Leafs possess enough inherent strength to compensate for the absence of one of the league's most creative and dynamic players? Can superstars like Austin Matthews and William Nylander shoulder an even greater offensive burden, expected to conjure goals out of thin air night after night? And perhaps most crucially, will this team be able to generate enough offense to go toe-to-toe with the Eastern Conference powerhouses when the stakes are highest, when every shot, every pass, every shift carries the weight of an entire city's hopes? It's in this crucible of uncertainty and desperate need that one name has begun to gain significant momentum, capturing the rapt attention of the media and igniting a spark of hope in the hearts of Leafs Nation: Rickard Rakell. Rakell, a 32-year-old veteran from Sweden, originally drafted by the Anaheim Ducks in 2011, currently plies his trade for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And what a trade it could be! After more than a decade in the grueling NHL, Rakell just concluded the most productive season of his career. A stunning resurgence that defied expectations, proving that age is truly just a number when talent and determination converge. He recorded an impressive 35 goals and 35 assists, totaling 70 points in 81 games. These are not just good numbers, they are phenomenal numbers for someone many believed was past his prime, a player whose best years were supposedly behind him. More than that, Rakell averaged a significant 19 minutes and 18 seconds of ice time per night, taking on major offensive responsibilities and proving unequivocally that he is still playing at an elite level, capable of driving play and producing consistently. It didn't take long for major outlets to start connecting the dots and speculating on a potential blockbuster. Sarah Sivian, a respected voice writing for Bleacher Report, published a list in September of 6 bold trades that she believed could shake up the season. And right there, front and center, was Toronto. Her suggestion was direct and to the point. The Leafs should target Rakell as their next big move to strengthen their forward group. Sivian wrote, "Ricard Raquel is another Penguin that Dubas kept who could bring back a solid return. The 32-year-old winger has 3 years remaining at a reasonable cap hit and scored 35 goals last season. He would be a great addition to any playoff team that needs 1 or 2 more scoring threats to boost their top 6. And let's be brutally honest, that description fits the Toronto Maple Leafs like a glove, a custom-made solution to a glaring, season-defining problem. Toronto notably grappled with the harsh realities of the chaotic free agency market this summer, losing a prolific scorer in Marner and failing to find an adequate replacement through conventional means. The math is simple yet profound. If you lose a player of Marner's caliber, you must find an answer of equal or near-equal impact. And that answer, my friends, could very well come in the form of Rickard Rakell. Of course, Raquel isn't the only player from the Penguins roster to be linked to the Leafs. Winger Brian Rust has also been mentioned as a possible target, with interest reportedly coming from other teams like the Buffalo Sabres and Columbus Blue Jackets. But a closer comparison between the two tends to favor Raquel, especially when considering the Leafs' specific needs for durability and consistent offensive output. While Rust also posted a respectable 167 points over the past 3 seasons, the exact same total as Raquel, his durability is more questionable. He appeared in 214 games compared to Raquel's 233 over that same span. It may seem like a small gap, just 17 games, but for a team like Toronto, which depends on consistency to build rhythm, maintain momentum, and enter the playoffs in peak physical and mental form, that difference could be absolutely decisive. Every game missed by a key player in a tight playoff race can be the difference between home ice advantage and a grueling road start, between making the cut and watching from the sidelines. Raquel brings more than just raw numbers to the table. He isn't merely a finisher. He's a remarkably smart forward who possesses an innate understanding of how to move without the puck, how to create precious space for his teammates, and how to seamlessly adapt to different offensive systems. His career trajectory reflects that incredible versatility and hockey IQ. In Anaheim, he often shouldered first-line responsibilities, serving as an offensive centerpiece, the focal point of their attack. In Pittsburgh, playing alongside generational talents like Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin, he reinvented himself as a high-end complementary player, proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that he can fit anywhere in any role and still produce at an elite level. This adaptability is precisely what makes the speculation so incredibly intriguing for the Maple Leafs. How exactly would Ricard Rakell fit into the Toronto Maple Leafs' dynamic lineup? Analyst Michael D. Rosa from Hockey News has already begun to paint a vivid picture of this potential scenario. According to his insightful analysis, Rakell could effortlessly slide into the top line alongside Auston Matthews and Matthew Knies, creating a truly formidable trio. Imagine Matthews with his lethal, unparalleled shot, a constant threat from anywhere in the offensive zone. Picture Knies, a young power forward bringing energy, size, and a growing offensive touch, driving to the net and winning puck battles. And then Rakell, with his wealth of experience, his scoring acumen, and his uncanny ability to find the back of the net, providing the perfect blend of veteran savvy and offensive punch. On paper, that trio could be devastating, a nightmare for opposing defenses capable of scoring in a multitude of ways. But even if Nylander were to push for a spot on the first line, Rakell could still anchor the second unit alongside John Tavares, adding crucial balance and giving the Leafs the kind of offensive depth they haven't had in years, a genuine two-punch knockout threat that could wear down opponents over a 7-game series. The central issue remains crystal clear. The Leafs desperately need goals. They need someone who can step onto the ice and make an immediate, tangible impact. Someone who can alleviate some of the immense offensive weight currently resting on the shoulders of Matthews and Nylander, who simply cannot be expected to carry the entire offense alone, especially in the relentless grind of the playoffs. And Rakell looks exactly like that type of player, a proven scorer who thrives in high-pressure situations. Diving deeper into his game, the Swede offers plenty of what Toronto currently lacks. He can be a potent option on the power play, always ready for quick-release shots from prime scoring areas in the offensive zone, making him a dangerous weapon with the man advantage. He can play heavy minutes at even strength without becoming a defensive liability, a crucial factor for a team aiming for deep playoff runs where every shift matters. And perhaps most importantly, he provides what Toronto has long searched for in the trade market: reliability in the biggest, most pressure-filled moments, a player who doesn't shrink when the stakes are highest, but instead rises to the occasion. But of course, there's always the question of cost. What would Toronto have to give up to acquire a player of Rakell's caliber? Pittsburgh, currently in a partial rebuild, would undoubtedly demand promising young players or high draft picks in return. The Leafs management would need to carefully weigh the inherent risk of trading away future assets for 32-year-old, even one in such excellent career best form. It's a classic dilemma, high-stakes poker game. Go all in on the present or meticulously protect the future. Even with that undeniable risk, the scenario is incredibly tempting, almost intoxicating for a fan base starved for a breakthrough. Picture a grueling playoff series against rivals like Boston or Tampa Bay. Matthews is smothered by relentless coverage, double-teamed, his space choked off. Suddenly, Rakell finds open ice on the weak side, a fleeting window of opportunity, ready to unleash the precise shot that decides a game, that swings a series, that finally breaks the curse. That's the type of difference-maker Toronto desperately needs. Not just depth, but players who can genuinely tilt the ice in their favor when the pressure is at its absolute highest. And it's impossible not to compare this possible move to Toronto's recent soul-crushing frustrations. Season after season, the Leafs enter the playoffs with sky-high expectations, only to stumble, to falter, to fall short in the early rounds, leaving a trail of shattered hopes in their wake. Could Ricard Raquel truly be the missing piece, the final puzzle piece to rewrite that agonizing story? Could he be the vital link that transformed a good team, a very good team, into a true, undeniable contender? Fans in Toronto know nothing comes easy. Every rumor becomes a screaming headline. Every decision is magnified under an unforgiving spotlight. But maybe, just maybe, this is the moment to take that bold step to turn Marner's painful departure into a pivotal turning point rather than a sign of weakness. In the end, Ricard Rakell isn't just a name being tossed around in trade rumors. He represents a profound choice. The choice of a team that might finally decide to bet unequivocally on the present, to push all its chips into the middle, and perhaps at long last, write a different victorious ending to its half-century saga. The real burning question is, are the Leafs ready to take that step? Toronto needs goals. It needs answers. It needs boldness. And Rickard Rakell could be exactly that. But is he enough? That's the question every single fan will carry every single day until this thrilling story finds its ultimate conclusion. What do you think, Leafs Nation? Is Rickard Rakell the missing piece of the puzzle, the spark that could ignite a championship run? Or is the cost too high, the risk too great? Let us know your thoughts, your hopes, and your fears in the comments below. Your passion fuels this channel, and we want to hear your voice as we navigate this wild, unpredictable hockey landscape. And if you're feeling that surge of desperate hope, that tantalizing possibility, then hit that like button and share this report with every Leafs fan you know. Let's keep this vital conversation going.